My friends, consider a truth often whispered but rarely understood. The colossal fortunes that reshape destinies are not products of luck, but of unwavering adherence to immutable laws. I speak from direct experience, having forged such transformations myself, turning modest beginnings into vast wealth that defied conventional understanding. This journey from insignificance to immense power is not a fantasy. It is a testament to the disciplined application of market principles. This is not a mere tale. It is a revelation of the precise methods, the iron disciplines, and the profound market understanding that enabled unimaginable wealth to be built from seemingly insignificant seeds. We will expose the how behind the numbers, revealing the very core of market mastery. Subscribe now, leave a like, and write any comment. This way you'll help more people see and hear this message. And I'll know that my work is not in vain. Every grand fortune, no matter its eventual immensity, must begin somewhere, often with origins that appear insignificant to the casual observer. For me, that relentless pursuit began not with a vast inheritance or privileged connections, but with an insatiable curiosity for the market's pulse and a paltry sum that served only as tuition for countless hard-won lessons. It was never about the initial capital. It was about the cultivation of a specific mindset, a way of observing and interpreting the market that fundamentally diverged from the common crowd. The dollars were merely the malleable tools. The true forge of wealth was the mind itself, refined through rigorous self-discipline. This foundational truth is paramount. The transformation from a modest seed to a monumental fortune does not commence with a stroke of luck or a fleeting tip, but with an internal preparation, a disciplined way of seeing and interpreting the world of speculation. It demanded an unwavering commitment to learning the market's immutable language, to understanding its subtle rhythms, and to approaching it with a cold, objective detachment. This mental preparation, this inner resolve, was indeed the true starting capital, proving infinitely more valuable than any physical currency I ever possessed. My early market education was not acquired in ivory towers or from the pronouncements of academics, but in the raw, unforgiving reality of the bucket shops, where fortunes were forged and shattered within the blink of an eye. There, amidst the chaos and the clamor, I learned to distill the market's movements into their purest, most objective truth. It was never about heeding the excited chatter of brokers or the sensational headlines of newspapers. It was about the relentless, almost obsessive observation of the price action itself, the tape, as we then called it. Every tick, every surge in volume, every subtle shift was a direct, unfiltered, and unbiased message from the market itself. This incessant study, often consuming countless hours of solitary focus, revealed to me the deeper currents beneath the surface, allowing me to discern the underlying forces of supply and demand that truly dictated price movements. It was the crucial art of understanding precisely what the market was doing, not what it should do, or what eager voices said it would do. This cultivated capacity for detached, objective observation became my earliest and most formidable edge, enabling me to anticipate major movements with a precision that bewildered those who relied on mere hearsay or superficial analysis. Through this exhaustive and often painful process of objective observation, I uncovered one of the market's most profound and absolutely immutable laws, the principle of the line of least resistance. Just as water inexorably flows downhill, always seeking the path of least obstruction, stocks will invariably move in the direction that offers the least opposition. This fundamental insight revealed that the market, at any given moment, possesses a definite underlying trend, whether it be resolutely upwards, persistently downwards, or moving sideways in a period of indecision. Any attempt to battle this prevailing current, I learned, was an exercise in utter futility and guaranteed financial ruin. This profound realization irrevocably transformed my entire approach to speculation. My enduring success was never predicated on futile attempts to bend the market to my personal will, but rather on my absolute commitment to identifying its true underlying current and aligning myself perfectly, dispassionately, with its flow. This meant a deep understanding that to resist the market's dominant trend was a preordained losing battle, and that the most substantial and enduring profits were consistently to be found by riding its inevitable, powerful movement. This principle instilled in me the profound patience required to wait for the trend to unequivocally declare itself, and the unwavering courage to follow it with conviction, whether that dictated buying into confirmed strength or initiating short positions into validated weakness. The speculator's most insidious foe is often the overwhelming urge to constantly be in the game, to act impulsively and prematurely, driven by impatience or a gnawing fear of missing out on fleeting opportunities. This restless impulse, however, is a direct and well-trodden path to a continuous erosion of capital and a cascade of unnecessary losses. My most significant gains, the ones that forged my reputation, were never generated by constant activity or frantic trading. They were meticulously crafted during long periods of profound patience. The unwavering discipline to remain utterly idle, sometimes for weeks, even months, until absolute clarity emerged, until the market delivered an undeniable signal that screamed, "Act now." The opportune moment, I learned through bitter experience, was always, without exception, infinitely more critical than the precise price itself. This cultivated patience served as my most impenetrable shield, steadfastly protecting my precious capital from the whipsaws of indecisive markets and the seductive allure of tempting yet unconfirmed opportunities. It allowed me to conserve my mental fortitude and my financial ammunition, deploying both only when the probabilities were overwhelmingly stacked in my favor, when the market had unequivocally revealed its intentions with unmistakable clarity. This strategic inaction was paramount, ensuring that when I finally moved, it was with surgical precision, unshakable conviction, and the highest conceivable probability of capturing a substantial, explosive movement that justified the extended period of vigilant waiting. My method for transforming initial insights into vast fortunes was never about making audacious predictions. It was about reacting intelligently and dispassionately to observable facts. Before committing any substantial portion of my capital, I would meticulously test the market with a small exploratory probe of a position. My singular purpose in this initial small trade was not to secure a large profit, but to elicit a clear, immediate response from the market itself. Did the price immediately move in my favor? Did it hesitate? Did it unequivocally move against me? The market's immediate verdict, its undeniable reaction to my small action, was my absolute confirmation, or the clear indication of a flaw in my thesis. It was this rigorous discipline that ensured I acted only when the market itself unequivocally confirmed my analysis, when it validated my entry by instantly showing a profit, even if a modest one. If my initial probe, however small, was met with even a minor loss, it served as an unmistakable signal that my timing, or perhaps my underlying analysis, was indeed flawed. This ironclad rule protected my capital, ensuring that I never, under any circumstance, committed heavily to a position that the market had already, in its infinite and unfeeling wisdom, declared to be in wrong. Indeed, when I initiated my significant short position in Union Pacific during the severe panic of 1907, my action was not based on rumor or a mere hunch, but on the market's own confirmed weakness that preceded my final decisive move. Subscribe now, leave a like, and write any comment. This way, you'll help more people see and hear this message, and I'll know that my work is not in vain. The most brutal, yet inarguably the most essential lesson in building an enduring fortune is the absolute discipline of ruthless loss-cutting. Many who enter the speculative arena succumb to a fatal flaw, allowing small, manageable errors to metastasize into catastrophic defeats. They cling to irrational hope, to wounded pride, or to the delusional belief that a losing trade must eventually recover. This clinging is the essence of the fool's trap, the most direct and unforgiving path to utter financial ruin, a path I myself walked with immense cost in my early, less disciplined years. My absolute rule forged in the fires of personal bankruptcy was simple and unwavering. If a trade moved against me, I cut it immediately, without hesitation, without regret, without even a second thought. The small loss incurred was merely tuition, a necessary payment for a valuable lesson learned. This iron discipline allowed me to circumvent the one mistake that invariably annihilates trading accounts. Never, ever averaging down. By fiercely protecting my foundational capital, I ensured that I always retained the necessary ammunition, the mental clarity, and the crucial opportunity to seize the next great trend, transforming capital preservation into the ultimate precursor to explosive, sustained growth. While the discipline of cutting losses ruthlessly preserved my capital, the truly exponential growth from a mere $50 to millions upon millions came from one powerful yet often misunderstood technique: pyramiding on strength. I never, under any circumstance, added to a losing position. Instead, once my initial smaller probe into the market showed a clear, confirmed profit, and the market itself continued to unequivocally validate its upward trajectory, I would methodically add more to my winning position. This was not reckless chasing. It was the calculated leveraging of confirmed, irresistible momentum. Each subsequent addition to my position was made only when the market demonstrated further undeniable strength, unequivocally proving my thesis correct and reinforcing the established line of least resistance. This meticulous process allowed my most successful positions to grow exponentially, transforming a modest initial gain into a colossal fortune. This disciplined scaling into strength was the true engine of compounding wealth, precisely aligning my capital with the market's most powerful, undeniable, and sustained moves, ensuring that my profits grew not linearly, but exponentially. However precise my methods, however sound my analysis, the extraordinary transformation from insignificant sums to millions would have been utterly impossible without fierce, absolute emotional control. The market is not merely a contest of wits. It is a relentless, unforgiving crucible that tests every fiber of your being. Hope tempts you to foolishly hold on to losers. Fear paralyzes you from acting decisively on clear signals. Impatience pushes you into premature, ill-advised entries. My journey to mastery was a constant, brutal battle against these insidious inner forces, a struggle for absolute, dispassionate detachment from the outcome of any single trade. This profound mastery of the inner game was paramount. It was the ultimate, hard-won lesson, often purchased at the cost of many thousands of dollars, sometimes even years of effort. This inner discipline ensured that my meticulously planned strategies were executed flawlessly, with robotic precision, even under immense pressure, when vast fortunes hung precariously in the balance. It was the unwavering ability to silence the emotional chatter, to remain utterly objective in the face of both intoxicating exhilaration and soul-crushing despair, that ultimately separated my consistent success from the devastating failures of those who possessed intellectual prowess but fatally lacked inner resolve. The market, in its absolute indifference, ruthlessly punishes arrogance, self-delusion, and undisciplined hope. My friends, the awe-inspiring transformation from a mere $50 to a $10 million fortune was not an act of magic, nor a fluke of inexplicable luck, nor was it granted by any external power. It was the direct, the inevitable, and the consistent consequence of an unwavering, disciplined application of these immutable principles. Obsessive observation of the market's unvarnished truth, riding its undeniable line of least resistance, cultivating infinite patience, acting only on its clear confirmation, ruthlessly cutting losses, and intelligently pyramiding on strength, all rigorously governed by absolute emotional mastery. These principles are not mere theories to be debated. They are hard-won truths, forged in the crucible of real-world struggle, paid for with years of intense study and often the bitter tuition of significant losses. Yet, they are available to anyone willing to commit to their understanding and unwavering application. This is your blueprint for an unstoppable journey, ensuring that your own efforts, guided by these timeless laws, lead you to command the riches and achievements you desire for your life, despite any temporary setbacks the market may inflict. The path to consistent triumph is clear for those with the courage to walk it.